Good evening and welcome to Express News with me, Deepika, your daily half-an-hour window that brings you 100 news and updates from the country and the world in 30 minutes. Let's begin. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is visiting France on a three-day visit at the invitation of President Emmanuel Macron. In his departure statement, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said he looks forward to co-chairing the AI Action Summit, a gathering of the world leaders and global tech CEOs. After wrapping up his France visit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will pay an official working visit to the United States on the 12th and the 13th of February at the invitation of US President Donald Trump. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with the students on different aspects of stress-free exams in the 8th edition of Pariksha Pe Charcha. This year's Pariksha Pe Charcha features 7 key themes ranging from mental health, mindfulness to technology, sports and financial literacy. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed students' concerns about exams pressure, time management and career choices while also encouraging them to think beyond textbooks and develop a broader perspective on life and learning. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also encouraged students to keep challenging their limits and emphasized on the importance of always pushing beyond what feels comfortable and challenging ourselves to reach new heights. During his interaction with the students, Prime Minister also said that sleep is dependent on nutrition and everyone should spend time in the morning sun. India's President Draupadi Murmu took a holy dip at Triveni Sangam during her visit to the ongoing Mahakumbh in Prayagraj on Monday. President Draupadi Murmu later offered prayers at the sacred confluence, experiencing the spiritual fervour of the festival. As part of her visit, President Draupadi Murmu also visited the revered Akshay Vat and Bade Hanumanji Temple. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and Governor Anandiben Patel were also present with the President of India. The 15th edition of the biennial Aero India was inaugurated by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh at the Air Force Station in Bengaluru on Monday. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh emphasized that Aero India serves as a significant platform for showcasing the nation's growing defence capabilities and technological advancements. In line with Self-Reliant India and Make in India, Make for the World vision, Asia's biggest air show provides a stage to forge international collaborations to fast-track the indigenization process. Budget session of India's Parliament continues on Monday in the lower house of the Lok Sabha. Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Minister of Minority Affairs Kiren Rijiju moved the motion of the 6th report of the Business Advisory Committee presented to the House on the 7th of February. In the Rajya Sabha, also known as the upper house of the Indian Parliament, Minister of Civil Aviation Ram Mohan Naidu replied to the question asked regarding number of operational airports in the country during the question hour on Monday. Indian Energy Week is set to kick off on Tuesday in the national capital. Building on the success of 2 editions inaugurated by the Prime Minister, the 3rd edition is poised to solidify its position as a premier platform for global energy industry. India's Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal on Monday launched the India EFTA dedicated desk that will act as a centralized support mechanism for EFTA companies looking forward to expand in India. India's Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav inspected the arrangements at the Prayagraj railway station ahead of the 12th February Maghi Purnima Snan. India's Minister of Health and Family Welfare JP Nadda on Monday launched the National Mass Drug Administration Round for the elimination of lymphatic filariasis across 13 states. This initiative aims at protecting millions from this debilitating disease. In Tirupati Laddu controversy, a special investigation team operating under the supervision of the CBI director has arrested 4 suppliers accused of providing inferior ingredients and animal fats for the production of laddus. Indian equity indices ended on a weak note on Monday. At the close, the Nifty dropped 178 points to close at 23,381.6. The Sensex dropped 548.39 points to settle at 77,311.8. The Indian rupee rose 1 paise to close at 87.49 against the US dollar on Monday. Oil prices rose on Monday. Brent crude futures rose to $75.44 a barrel. Gold futures maturing on the 4th of April were priced at 85,758 rupees per 10 grams on multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for the 5th of March maturity stood at 95,907 rupees per kilogram on the MCX. Asian shares deterred and the dollar edged higher on Monday after US President Donald Trump warned of more tariffs in steel and aluminium that could limit the scope for rate cuts. Wall Street futures started lower but soon rallied as investors looked ahead to another busy week of earnings. S&P 500 futures firmed over 0.2% while Nasdaq futures added 0.3%. South Korea's KS11 main index fell 0.1%, led by losses in steel makers. However, shares in Australian-listed BlueScope Steel rose nearly 2% on expectations its US business would gain from the tariffs. China's consumer price index, a main gauge of inflation, was up 0.5% year-on-year in January, as per the National Bureau of Statistics. US President Donald Trump signed an executive order while flying over the newly named Gulf of America that recognizes February the 9th as Gulf of America Day. The changes will apply to official federal documents and maps. Speaking to the reporters on Air Force One, US President Donald Trump said that the United States will move to impose 25% tariffs on steel and aluminium imports on Monday that will apply to any steel and aluminium coming into the US. French President Emmanuel Macron warned that US tariffs on Europe would hike inflation for Americans as he vowed to go ahead and head-to-head with Donald Trump over financial threats. The Australian government has decided to urge Washington to give them exemptions over steel tariffs. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said that he has raised the issue with US President Donald Trump's administration over tariffs. China's retaliatory tariffs on the US court came into effect from Monday that include a 15% levy on US coal and LNG and 10% for crude oil, farm equipment and a small number of trucks as well as big engine sedans shipped to China from the United States. South Korea held an emergency meeting with steel makers in Seoul to discuss measures to minimize the impact of potential US tariffs. United States and South Korean military conducted live-fire exercise on Monday. The military drill showcased combined air power and readiness to demonstrate their commitment to maintaining a strong defensive posture. US President Donald Trump on Sunday reiterated his commitment to buying and owning Gaza, proposing to redevelop the territory with the help from some other West Asian states. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Sunday praised a proposal from US President Donald Trump for control of Gaza and the displacement of its population as revolutionary. An Israel delegation is in Qatar for next stage of the ceasefire talks that are set to start on Tuesday following Netanyahu's visit to the United States last week. The Israeli military on Sunday completed its withdrawal from remaining positions in the Netzarim corridor. Donald Trump expressed confidence that the US was making headway in discussions aiming at ending the Russia-Ukraine conflict on Sunday, but refrained from sharing specifics about any conversations with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has set clear terms for Donald Trump's proposed Ukraine peace plan, insisting that ending the conflict is not enough. Trump must ensure Russia can never strike again. The formation of a new Sudanese government is expected to happen after the recapture of Khartoum is completed, a day after Sudan's army head said he would form a technocratic wartime government. Hundreds of young people gathered outside El Salvador's National Library to protest against the mining law approved by the Legislative Assembly in December as President Nayib Bukele announced his plan to extract $3 billion of gold. French President Emmanuel Macron said on Sunday that France will announce investments amounting to $112.5 billion in artificial intelligence over the coming years during the Paris AI Summit opening starting Monday. Sweden's government has announced plans to tighten its gun laws as police confirmed for the first time the details of those killed in the worst mass shooting in the country's history. In their first television debate ahead of the February 23 polls, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz criticized Friedrich Merz for accepting votes from the far-right Alternative for Germany. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has taken an at-home HIV test at 10 Downing Street ahead of HIV testing week that starts Monday. Starmer has become the first British Prime Minister to take a public HIV test in an effort to destigmatise testing for the virus. UK immigration enforcement teams made over 600 arrests in January, a 73% increase on the same period a year ago as part of the new Labour government's plan to tackle undocumented migration and people smuggling gangs. Hong Kong Secretary for Health Loh Chung Ma announced plans to submit a bill in April proposing 10 tobacco control measures and phases. The initial step will involve stricter penalties for the sale of duty not paid cigarettes next year. We are heading for a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back after that short break. You're watching Express News. Let's continue. According to India's Met Department, minimum temperatures in northwest India is likely to rise by 2 to 4 degrees Celsius over the next 5 days. India's Met Department has forecasted scattered to fairly widespread snowfall and rainfall over northeastern state of Arunachal Pradesh during 10th and 13th of February. Doda in the Indian Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir was covered in a thick blanket of snow on Monday. About 95 households with 360 residents have been evacuated to safe places after a landslide hit southwest China's Sichuan province. So far, the landslide has caused the death of one person with 2 injured and 28 others missing. A total of 443 rescuers from the Sichuan Provincial Fire Rescue Corps were mobilized with rescue effort underway in China's Sichuan province. The Greek Ministry of Climate Crisis and Civil Protection announced that 11 quakes with magnitudes of 4 or higher were recorded near Greek island of Santorini on Saturday, with the strongest tremor reaching a magnitude of 4.9. Floods caused by heavy rainfall impacted life in the western Philippines, prompting rescue operations for people stranded at their residence. Personnel from the Red Cross and Palawan District Coast Guard used boats to reach those trapped by rising floodwaters and evacuate them to safety. Iran's capital city Tehran was covered in a blanket of snow, transforming the city into a winter wonderland. Iranian weather department has warned of incoming drop of temperatures. Snow covered in the mountains of Cyprus, bringing a rare winter spectacle to the Mediterranean island. Locals and tourists flocked to the mountains to enjoy the winter weather, with some taking part in activities like skiing and snowboarding. Mahakumbh 2025 in India's Prayagraj continues to attract overwhelming number of devotees to the sacred Triveni Sangam, which is the confluence of Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati. More than 430 million pilgrims have already taken the holy tip, seeking spiritual purification and blessings. With 16 days left for the grand event to conclude, officials anticipate that the total number of pilgrims could surpass an astounding 500 million devotees. Indian Embassy in Tokyo hosted the India-Japan Skill Connect, an event designed to link talented Indian students with leading Japanese companies. Over 10 Japanese companies spanning diverse sectors were present at the event. The core of the event was a series of concise and engaging presentations by the participating Japanese companies. Each company showcased their work, culture, and the opportunities they offer to international students. 163 buildings in Vietnam received green certification in 2024, double the number from the previous year. These green buildings are part of projects that align with Vietnam's commitment to reduce carbon dioxide emissions by 74.3 million tons by 2030, supporting its goal of achieving net zero emissions by 2050. Australia's wool industry faces one of its biggest challenges in a century, plummeting production and weak global demand. This year, the amount of wool Australia is set to produce is forecast to drop to 12%. However, new generations of young wool farmers are optimistic about the industry as they recognize the value of investing in sheep genetics to make farmers more profitable. Bird watching is booming in China, boosting eco-tourism in Jiangxi province as nature lovers flock to see rare birds. The region charms the tourists with snow dancing white swans. Efforts to protect these birds include patrols and swan protection station. Seagulls are the highlight at Qingdao, attracting large crowds. In the Amazonas state of Brazil, 4,900 yellow-spotted river turtles were released into the local river. The yellow-spotted river turtle is native to many river basins in northern South America, including the Amazon and Orinoco rivers. In South America's Peru, the International Potato Research Center has been developing a gene bank that holds thousands of potato varieties to address the threat of global food security by climate change. The research center has also collaborated with NASA to plant potatoes in the Peruvian desert in a simulated Mars environment. In the rugged mountains of Haras, west of Yemen's capital, Sana'a, controlled fermentation is emerging as a method to transform coffee produce. Farmers are placing harvested coffee cherries in sealed bags inside barrels, triggering a carefully monitored fermentation process. Hong Kong City Bus Transport Company organized an elderly experience course for all of its bus captains. The bus captains put on special suits that weigh dozens of pounds to help them experience the difficulties faced by the elderly. The experience allowed them to better understand the physical and mental situation of the elderly, to better understand them. Rome in Italy held the Euphoria exhibition full of installations and inflatable artworks at the Balloon Museum. Visitors enjoyed artworks and installations at the exhibition, looking at various attractions. Marvel's Thunderbolts trailer premiered during the Super Bowl, giving fans a sneak peek to the action-packed film hitting the theaters on 2nd of May this year. Hollywood actor Brad Pitt stars in the new trailer for F1 set for release on the 27th of June. Pitt plays the role of a retired Formula One driver who returns to train a rookie prodigy for the Apex Grand Prix race. The anthology film My Melbourne, featuring stories by Kabir Khan, Imtiaz Ali, Reema Das and Unir, will release in Indian theatres on the 14th of March. The film, which premiered at the 15th Indian Film Festival at Melbourne, explores themes of race, gender, sexuality and disability. The first look of the con drama The Networker was released on Sunday. The film highlights the world of networking, persuasion and belief. Indian actor Anupam Kher was honoured for his philosophy of optimism by a Nobel Prize winner Professor James Allison at the Illuminate Oncology Town Hall 2.0 event on Sunday. India beat England by 4 wickets in the second ODI in Cuttack, taking a 2-0 lead, confirming a series victory for themselves. Rohit Sharma smashed his 32nd ODI century and surpassed Rahul Dravid in the list of Indian batters with most international tons. Australia beat Sri Lanka by 9 wickets inside 4 days of the second test to sweep the series by 2-0 in Galle on Sunday. England's Jacob Bethel is all set to miss Champions Trophy due to a hamstring injury during first one-day international against India. At the 38th National Games, services continue to dominate the medal tally with 42 gold, while Karnataka and Maharashtra hold second and third spot respectively. India's high hurdlers Jyoti Araji and Tejas won a hat-trick of gold medals each at the National Games. Philadelphia Eagles obliterated the Kansas City Chiefs' bid to become the first NFL team to win 3 consecutive Super Bowls with a blowout 40-22 victory on Monday. US President Donald Trump, Taylor Swift and Lionel Messi were among the notable attendees to watch the Super Bowl final. Fans took to the streets of Philadelphia to celebrate after the Eagles dominated the Chiefs in Super Bowl in New Orleans. Liverpool suffered a humiliating FA Cup exit as Championship struggler Plymouth ended its quadruple bid with a stunning 1-0 victory in the 4th round. 10-man Barcelona earned a hard-fought 4-1 victory at struggling Sevilla on Sunday to edge closer to the top of La Liga. The victory lifted third-place Barcelona to 48 points. Aston Villa secured a 2-1 victory over Tottenham Hotspur and lift their side into the FA Cup 5th round for the first time in 10 years on Sunday at Villa Park. Carlos Alcaraz claimed his first indoor title at the Rotterdam Open on Sunday, defeating Australia's Alex de Minaur by 6-4, 3-6, 6 to win a hard-fought final. MotoGP launched their new season in Thailand on Sunday. The first Grand Prix of the season is at Thailand's Chang International Circuit from 28th February. And Britain, led by Dylan Fletcher, prevailed over Canada in a thrilling final on Sunday Harbour to take the honours in the 3rd round of the Sail Grand Prix season on Sunday. And with this, it's a wrap here on Express News for now, but news and updates will continue here on DD India. So don't go anywhere, keep watching and keep tracking DD India for all latest news and updates from the country and the world. Thank you so much for joining us right now. Namaskar.